Hello and welcome to the Leeds podcast. I'm James and I'm with Rocco Dean.
Hello there.
It was a late heartbreak at Craven Cottage to late limbs in LS11 yesterday. Before we get into all of that, special thanks to Bass & Bligh, sponsor of the podcast. They are still selling the Carmera, which Rocco, I believe your son has been out and about using, hasn't he?
He has. He loves it. It's absolutely tiny. It's a keyring camera. And it's about the size of a key.
Or a ring. I don't know. Which one is it? But yeah, they're very cool, aren't they? And you can, it's like has filters on the videos and photos and it makes it look like old, I suppose what Instagram used to be like, but cooler because it's in a device, isn't it? They are good. They are good. And if you go to bassandbligh.com, you can get £5 off if you use the code LEEDS. There's also tons of used gear there, from binoculars and spotting scopes to cameras. 7 years since Spygate. 7 years. So yeah, get your binoculars out. Go watch Frank Lampard's Coventry City if you really want. Failing that, if you want some fun and have a nice time on a day out in Harrogate, go to 6 Beulah Street and see Justin in the camera shop as well. I don't know why it'll be fun. It might be fun.
It would be fun. Definitely be
fun. Yes, Dara is not here again this week. Sad news that his mum Annette passed away. So we're sending all of our love to you, Dara, and Steve and Shay as well, and all the Cunninghams who've been thinking about you all week. So really looking forward to you coming back, mate. We miss you. And yeah, it's tributes as well at Elland Road for Terry Yorath. It's been a sad week, hasn't it, all around? And we obviously talked about it last week on the podcast, and tributes very well. What's the word I'm looking for?
Well, it would be observed, I suppose. But
it was clapped, wasn't it?
It was clapped. I don't like it.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
There's plenty of things you don't like, and I probably should have hit on that, shouldn't I, really?
Yeah, I don't think it's appropriate. I think a minute's silence would have been far more fitting. Yeah, I don't know where the minute's applause thing came from, but especially at Elland Road, anyway, I'm not going to go on a rant about that, but I would have preferred a silence.
Yeah, let's move on. You silence you, Rocco. It was a nice tribute. Gabby Logan and the rest of the Yoraths were there as well, which is really good. So nice to see them in Elland Road. And yeah, it was a good day in the end of football for Leeds United. A cracking result. First half was a bit boring. I was well up for it going into Elland Road, and it was a good atmosphere. Everyone was in a good party spirits, I think. But the football was just meh. The crowd was quiet. It seemed to drag, didn't it?
I don't know. I mean, my dad said the same. He's like halfway through it must have been just before half time. He was like, how are you going to do a podcast about this? But I disagree. I mean, well, obviously not a lot happened, but I mean, this is it was a bit like the Championship, we were just sort of on top, not taking any mad risks. And as I said to my dad, it seemed to me like it was just like a regular 2-0 Championship win type game. I felt like we were in complete control. I was happy. But yeah, it was, I mean, to be honest, like by the end, that was my favourite game of the season. I missed Chelsea, so that would have been the best, I'm sure. But I loved it. That second half, like the way we turned up the pressure on them, the ground was rocking in the end. And yeah, to push and push and push and then get the goal. Yeah, nothing better for me. I love that. Much better than a boring 4-1 victory over Crystal Palace any day.
Well, in the first half, Brendan Aronson was doing Brendan Aronson things. He was, as in recent things. I'm not talking about old things. And then he did actually revert to type, didn't he? And blaze one over the bar, bless him. And I thought, oh no, is he back? Is he going to recoil into himself? But it was good.
He was back to his best with that. Yeah, it was like literally top corner of the south stand, wasn't it? It was like as bad a finish as you could possibly get. He couldn't have missed it by more.
I think some of the players' family are in those boxes, aren't they? It was like he's aiming for their window. So just wake up his missus, bang, on the window. It happens, doesn't it? I mean, Okafor had a bad shot as well, which I think went to a similar height, didn't it, at one point?
But he's crap. Aronson's amazing.
Yeah, very good. We ended...
Do you know what? I think he was a victim of his own confidence there, because the finish that he tried was, it's an incredibly difficult skill. Like if he'd have got that right and sent it... Yeah, I think if he'd have been less confident, he'd have taken an extra touch or just tried to, usher it into the corner, but he just went for it.
That's so funny. We've got like all the confidence we want out of Brendan now, and he's firing. He's like, if he was just a little bit less confident, we just went back a few weeks. Oh yeah, no, I prefer this version. It works a lot better everywhere. So can we keep him?
Yeah, I agree.
I was just listening to Dominic Calvert-Lewin interview on Sky Sports from when he got his Player of the Month award, and he was singing praise for Brendan Aronson as well. So that was nice. I think that it's one of those where actually, when you think about it, is Dominic Calvert-Lewin benefiting from Brendan Aronson? Is Brendan Aronson working with someone like DCL of his quality in training to say, this is where I want it, this is how I want it to work? It's probably really helping his game.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. I don't think it's coincidence to have that he's sort of playing up front with Calvert-Lewin. I mean, they link up very well, and yeah, I'd be surprised if they weren't helping each other. But more, yeah, I think Calvert-Lewin, you've got to assume that he's a good influence on Brendan, and he did. He had another brilliant game. I just love what he's doing. Like, there's times where, in the past where he's held onto the ball for too long. He's sort of still doing that, but now he doesn't lose it. He just somehow comes away with the ball still. He just seems faster, stronger. He's just like a little boy that's grown up, and now he can do it. Long may it continue. It's great to have a player like him.
It was always those when he'd receive the ball just in the opponent's half, just on the edge of the centre circle, turn and then play a diagonal pass to one of the wingers, and it'd get intercepted, and then they quickly break up the other end, and that's where it was painful. But he's even making those passes now, and again, does it come down to Dominic Calvert-Lewin making better runs to pull players away? Quite possibly. So it's all fine margins, isn't it? But I suppose the big talking point before the game was Darlow was back in. There was no hints that change was going to happen, but it was definitely the right one. I like that there was no sort of big PR thing around it this time, and it's just a case of switching the keeper over. When Melia was obviously dropped, it became a big thing of handling it all in the press comms, wasn't it? So were you pleased with that right decision?
Yeah, I was delighted, and also delighted with Farke because I'd said it was interesting that he faced the exact same issue that he had this time last year, and I was interested to see how he would handle it. And he's basically corrected what he messed up last time by bringing in Darlow straight away, a competent goalkeeper. And I mean, his performance, I think it was like a bit shaky. I think his distribution was probably even worse than Perry. He had his rushing out of the goal thing, but the guy is just confident, as soon as he came out for the match and he comes towards the cop and claps the fans and he's bouncing around a bit, he just looks like a confident keeper. Like, I don't know, I just think about Perry, and in my head, he feels like having a ghost in goal. Like, I don't know, like just the fact that Darlow's just, I don't know, he looks like more eager to be a keeper and to do his job, and to, I don't know, it's a weird perception that I've got. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me.
I think I know what you mean. It's a bit like Farke, isn't it? He's just level. Like there's not too much excitement, and there's not too much like nervousness. It's just level.
Yeah.
And the thing that I found about Perry in the last few weeks is that there's an air of him just not knowing when he's made a mistake. Melia, at least, he would beat himself up because he knew he'd made a mistake, but Perry just never knew, and I think that's a worry in itself, because it's like you've just had an absolute crisp packet hand here. Like, how do you not know that it's not your fault? And I think that's the thing that's made me think, he needs a bit of a wake up call, and this is the kind of thing that needs to happen to him hopefully for him to wake up. And James Justin was into the team as well. He had a great performance when he came on at Derby, scored the goal as well, and he's been really good when he's made appearances. And I thought he just looked excellent. He looks so good, like such a welcome addition. I know people were underwhelmed in the transfer window when he joined. Well, quite a few people were underwhelmed, but it's a quality signing that we need in that area.
Yeah, absolutely. And playing as the third centre back once again. Just made no difference to us. He was just absolutely fine. I think it suited him down to the ground, really, playing that role. And then in the second half, when we switched it up, he can just seamlessly go to right back. It's just brilliant, like the way the squad has been built. After all the upset, and I've had wobbles as well when things weren't going well, and criticised the club, as everyone has. But you look at the squad now, and the way that it's shaped up is just amazing. And Justin is a massive part of that. And it's the guy, he's played for England, hasn't he? I think he's got a cap, or at least a call up. So, he's a player that can reach that level. As Farke said about Bamford, he didn't win his England cap in the raffle, so it's brilliant. And I was chuffed with him, and just never, nothing to worry about really with again, like a injury to Biol, who obviously I'm not his biggest fan anyway, but nevertheless.
I was going to say I walked into this by praising James Justin, didn't I? I thought, oh God, the anti-Yaka Biol.
Yeah, but Biol's done very well, so it was a miss, but didn't matter. It's all good, and Bogle comes back in and flying up the wing, ended up playing up front. It seemed like in the second half for a lot of it.
Mad. I think Farke was similar to you in that you said, this was your favourite win. He said that this was their best win of the season. Really important game to get points in, and particularly after the disappointment of Newcastle. What does that do to the players' mentality in the league? And for me, did it feel like we were grown up? Because when we were out of possession in that match, we just looked like we were restricting Fulham to nothing really. And I think it was quite telling that, if I've got this right, someone can correct me, but I think Howard, here we go. Wilson, who's Howard? Harry Wilkinson. Harry Wilson had like half as many touches as he normally does in a game, and we clearly just restricted him to doing nothing. And the element of that foul, obviously in I think it's 56th minute, where he just hacked down Gudmundsson, was an element of professional foul to stop us breaking up the pitch so quickly. But I think he was just frustrated. I think he was just having one of those days where he wasn't really getting on the ball and couldn't really do much. So that in itself showed you how good we were playing out of possession.
Yeah, it reminds me of, I think it was in Bielsa's first Premier League season, and we beat Palace 3-1, I think, on a midweek, and like that was it was about this time. It might have been February, but it was like that was the moment where I thought like we've arrived. Like that's just like a standard Premier League churn victory. We completely dominated them that night. And yeah, it felt like that. Like, Fulham, they played some nice stuff at times, and they played around our press, 2 or 3 times, and they looked fairly dangerous, breaking at speed. But we always had it covered. And yeah, Harry Wilson, that reminded me of when Dan James came back after we'd just failed to sign him. Like, and everyone was like, "Oh, James is going to score," obviously.
Yeah.
But he never got a kick that night, and Wilson, he couldn't influence the game whatsoever. We just rode on. Strauch, just absolutely superb. Gudmundsson, I mean, there was that one time where it looked like they were in, and Gudmundsson just absolutely rapid. Yeah, what a recovery that was. That was phenomenal.
It was the pace and the way he just got his body in front of him, so there was just no chance. Like, he couldn't do anything as an attacker. And the thing that amazes me about Gudmundsson is how strong his core must be, because there's some times where he gets him in a state with a winger, and you think he's going to like fall over or easily lose the ball here. And he comes out with the ball and then immediately flies up the wing. It's like, he's just ridiculously strong. This is those beautiful piercing blue eyes as well, isn't it?
Well, that helps. I think he's the best left back since Dorigo, and he reminds me a little bit of Dorigo. Probably not as composed in the final third. He obviously pissed me off a bit in the second half with a couple of those lashed finishes or bad crosses, but it's very, very rare. Like he's just a quality left back, and I don't know how we've signed him. I think that's an absolutely superb signing, and I don't know what, I mean, this shouldn't impress me, but I've spent so long watching Leeds be rubbish and obviously all the bad left backs that we've had. But like, just the fact that he can play a straight ball down the line, like every time he does that and it doesn't go out of play, I'm like, oh yeah, go on, Gudmundsson.
There's our expectation levels. I reckon Farke's expectation levels are a bit higher than ours. You mentioned signings there, Rocco. We've got to mention this, haven't we? It was Rocco Romano you were referred to in the WhatsApp group this week. And even Isaac Johnson messaged you to say, well done with your scoop. I'm going to start calling you ice cream now.
It took me a while to get that. Yeah.
It was rubbish, that was why.
Yeah, that Romano guy tried to claim an exclusive, but I'll let him have it. I didn't actually reveal the name, but yeah, I was tipped off an hour before the news broke that Facundo was on his way to Elland Road to sign on loan. So that was very nice. Gained myself a few hundred extra followers that will never get any more in the know information.
Look at that! What an absolute scumbag! He's going to be like trying to tap everyone up now. Give me some knowledge. I want my ITK account to go through the roof.
I know. No, it's not
Disgusting.
worth it. Honestly, that the stress between putting that tweet out and it actually happening. Because I never even thought about it, and everyone's like messaging and like saying, who is it? What's, is this guy full of rubbish? And
Yeah.
so if it hadn't have gone through, I'd have felt like a scumbag. But luckily, it did.
Yeah. Well, in that moment, I was thinking, oh, this is what it's like for all the journos in the summer when they say, oh,
Yeah.
hot on our radar is X player, and it can easily fall through, can't it? But yep. So don't go anywhere else. Don't follow Fabrizio Romano. Just go to Rocco's Twitter account. That's all you need to know.
Absolutely.
Rocco, what can you tell us about? No, we won't go into the next transfer. Come on, let's keep going back on the football.
No, well, Facundo Buonanotte. I mean, apparently he was desperate to sign for Leeds, and not desperate. That's the wrong word. Seems that he absolutely screwed us over. He was like really excited to play for Leeds. Not excited enough, but like he was, really looking forward to coming to Elland Road in the summer. But when Chelsea came in. Was he advised wrong? Was it his decision? It doesn't really matter. He ended up going to Chelsea. I mean, he did play. Didn't play in the league, but he played in the League Cup. I saw him actually start at number 10 at Wolves, and they tore Wolves tore Wolves apart in the first half. And Buonanotte was at the heart of all that. Really, really impressive. Played 90 minutes in the Champions League and they beat Ajax 5-1. I know nothing about that game, but he did play 90 minutes. So all that furore about him not being in the Champions League squad, obviously it didn't matter. They got around that because of the age or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's had some football, but obviously it's not gone right. And he himself wanted to leave Chelsea and come and play for Leeds. And do you know what? Like, I think him not coming in the summer has worked out so well because, well, firstly, we've seen like Aronson blossom, which, probably wouldn't have happened. But also, I do wonder whether we would have ever moved to the three at the back because, like, it's an extra body to try, an extra personnel change to see if 3-3 was going to work. And then also an extra player to leave out to go to the 3-5-2 as it was originally. Mm. So I feel like, again, blessing in disguise. It does feel like this season there's been a lot of like things falling in our way. I know on the pitch we've been a bit unlucky at times, playing teams at the right time and stuff. And I don't know, everything just seems to be falling quite nicely for us at the moment.
Yeah, and speaking of falling nicely as well, I think Ampadu has a habit of things falling into his feet quite nicely or somehow being in the right place at the right time, and he does a lot of the mopping up for us. And I think he's my favourite player. I absolutely love watching him. He just looks so composed with both feet. It feels like he's in the right place at the right time. There was a moment where I don't know how he ended up on the left wing in the second half, and he played like a horrible ball into the box. He like dragged it like across the it was a cross, but he sort of just dragged it across the 18-yard box. And Graham Smith actually talked about it in one of his articles about Nmecha and a few of them sort of laughing on the sideline. But what happened was, because it was right in front of us, but he dragged that awful cross, and then he looked and he gave a look of like, oh, to Nmecha and Gnonto who were all warming up, and then they were all sort of giggling to one another after that horrible cross. It was very funny. It's just like, it's that kind of, it was interesting to sort of fly on the wall of, a bunch of young lads who obviously take it seriously, but you can't lose your head in those moments, and you have to sort of laugh at some stuff. It was just quite interesting. Funny.
He's phenomenal, isn't he? I mean, he's our best player. He is. I mean, what a signing. 7 million from Chelsea. And also Rodon as well. The fact that we managed to get him on loan and then get him in permanently after not going up. Again, I mean, that shows like, real credit to the club because it's ambition. He believed in the project enough to commit to us, and he's a great defender. But Ampadu's just top draw. He's getting into the realms now where I'm starting to wonder whether he is as good as Calvin was in that first Premier League season for us. Maybe not as good, but it's not far off. He's absolutely superb, isn't he?
Yeah, really good. And what is he, 24, 25? Can't remember. He's like still so young, still loads of headroom. And I'm sure we all talked about this at the start of the season, just saying there's a bunch of players that will want to step up in this league, and Ampadu will be one of them. And he really has. He's just so good. He showed signs of it all last season, but until you play these sorts of teams, you don't really know, do you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's now got to the point where, I'm starting to worry about, who's going to be coming in for a player like him, because he is top quality. And I really hope, obviously it's been spoke about when we were last in the Premier League, this model of like selling one player a year, and it seems to just be like accepted that that's what you have to do. I really hope that's not the case. I really, really do. I would love to keep this core squad together and just build on it. Couple of bricks at a time to add to what we've got. It's probably unrealistic in the climate of things, but that would be ideal.
Yeah, I completely agree. And we obviously needed to make a few changes. And Nmecha came on. I think Farke described him as looking like he'd never put his pair of football boots on before. And I think his first 3 touches were just dreadful, weren't they? Didn't do anything. Yeah. I think he put us in a really awkward spot from memory, didn't he? Where they were on the break.
Well, they showed his 3 touches on Match of the Day, but then I was thinking, was it not him that he did that pass that he blasted it at one of the defenders? I think
was nearly went out for a corner.
Yeah, I can't remember, but yeah, he. To be honest, I was really surprised. Like, were you shocked that like his subs? Because I mean, we just completely went for it. It was as if we were 1-0 down. Brought on. What did he do? Took off Gruev and brought on Gnonto, and that was in the 70th minute, which is attacking enough. And then brought on Tanaka and Nmecha again for like, I can't remember who came off now off the top of my head, but like, attacking, 2 attacking substitutions.
The thing is that we were doing really well. Like they were not getting any pressure on us whatsoever, and they didn't ever look like they were going to. And I think, did they switch to a back 5 maybe? I saw someone mention. So in that, is Silva already sort of thinking Leeds are going to come attack us here? So then almost it's that classic of inviting pressure where you've dropped that many to the back. So then Farke thinks, right, well, I'm going to put another forward on here. And Nmecha came on, and he was absolutely dreadful. Ampadu, weirdly in a wing position again, gets the ball out wide after Tanaka slipped over. Who was it who passed it out to him? Was it Ampadu? No, it's not Ampadu.
I think it was Tanaka in the end. It was a funny one, wasn't it? Because there was a nice little bit of interchange of play, and then there was like a bit of a scrap. Tanaka slipped, but we were first pouncing on every ball first. Like 3 times it happened. We could have lost possession, but we didn't. And then I think in the end it was Tanaka that poked it through to Ampadu, unless it was Gnonto.
No, Tanaka slipped over. I think it might have been Gnonto, Someone will tell us. Someone will correct us. Someone will correct us after last week when we referred to Joel Pirro as being right-footed as well. We had an absolute mare there, didn't we? That's what happens when you don't care about players who you want sold, so we can get Strand Larsen. No, I don't mean that. Rocco, what's the scoop on Strand Larsen? Come on, you must know Rocco Romano.
Move on. Next.
Obviously, Graham Smith tweeted about that yesterday as well, that his agent was at the game and he's a regular at the game because he's a Leeds fan. Yeah, so that's good, isn't it? So Leeds inquiring about Strand Larsen was probably like they saw his agent in the stand. Like, all right, how are you doing? Yeah, fancy Strand coming? Oi. And that was it. Leeds have inquired.
Yeah, I was surprised at the furore that followed that story. I mean, like the fact that we've inquired, we've not made a bid, we've not had any response. Or there's no, it's not like they've said, Leeds have inquired and talks are going to start or anything whatsoever. But I mean, it's good that we're inquiring about players like that, I suppose. I don't know if we need him, to be honest. And I don't know if is he good enough for us? Is he better? He's definitely not better than Calvert-Lewin. Is he better than Nmecha?
It's Calvert-Lewin. It's Calvert-Lewin. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Don't know is the answer to that. I mean, I think he had a good season last year, and teams who has a good game in a good team, like who has good performances. So yeah, and he was injured at the start of the season because he didn't even play against us. So is that a worry in itself as well? But I don't know. I think the main thing is Wolves are probably trying to protect their assets, aren't they, and sell them before they have to go cheap in the Championship if that's something they're going to do. There's been lots of talks about swap deals, isn't there, like Gnonto and Peru and stuff, but honestly,
I don't know if someone's just come up with that. I'm not really sure.
No, exactly.
We'll see. It's a bit, I don't know. See, it seems, I was surprised at the link.
We jumped around here, but what I would say is Elland Road was flat until that Harry Wilson challenge, wasn't it? And it sort of ignited everyone, and he had quite a bit of banter with everyone in our corner as well. He he came up for a cut to take a corner in front of us, and he put the ball deliberately like outside the little.
Oh yeah, I know.
And then looked at everyone, and it was like, hey, just smiled, just like, oh, well played, sir. That was good. Well played.
Do you think it was a red card?
I know it's been debated quite a bit, and not for me really. It was just a very good professional foul. If it was high and dangerous, but I think you see them given all the time, don't you? You want to say red, don't you?
I mean, I was baying for red.
Yeah, of course, I was as well.
It might have been a bit harsh, but like the fact that it was so like reckless and so cynical, and the fact that it stopped a really good attack. Like, granted, it's not a goal scoring opportunity, but like we were completely in there. Down the side, but still in on goal. I think all the combined. I don't think he'd have had any complaints if it had been red. But
No.
yeah, I'm obviously very tolerant of referees, but on this occasion, I was spitting feathers. I was so angry. I think obviously like the guy that kicked the ball away, although that was the linesman, like the ref couldn't see that, where their player had just been booked, kicks the ball away. The linesman stood there looking at it.
Yeah, I know.
They're all wired up. They talk to each other constantly. Do your job. An absolute disgrace that he didn't tell the ref and send him out. And why is that rule softened up? It's because everyone moaned about it, because there's so much noise whenever they punish people. But it was a great rule that they brought in. Yellow card if you delay the restart. Brilliant rule for the neutral. And now it's gone pretty much because all the players piss and moan about it. It makes me sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then Ampadu gets booked for like just like use your brain. Like it clearly wasn't wasting time.
Yeah. It's not in Leeds' interest to waste time, was it? It's just stupid by the ref. Farke was going ballistic at the fourth official for the yellow card on their player as well. Was it? I wonder if there was. Not that I agree with this, obviously, but were they giving him a bit of flex because he was already on a yellow? I think it was their player who'd already received one, wasn't it, as well? But even so, it's like it's his own. It'd be his own stupid fault for kicking it away. So
yeah, and there's no. You're not allowed to referee with common sense, so don't do it. Like, fair, if that was the case, then fine, but that's not the rules anymore. You send them off for something that's black and white. Like that was wasting time. Definite yellow card all day long. The other thing, the easiest rule change in the game that is so obvious, that happens all the time now. A player's about to be substituted, he goes down, physio comes on, they waste half a minute. So the substitute shouldn't be allowed to come on for 30 seconds in exactly the same way that the player wouldn't be able to come back on. Like, that's the rule. So just imply the rule, because it happens all the time. It's ridiculous. It's such an easy thing to fix. So maybe they'll do that next season. It annoys me so much that it's like they just sit on the floor and then they're getting substituted, and it's just annoying. Think of the neutral.
No, let's not think of the neutral. Just think of the rules, how it works elsewhere. That'll do. So that goal goes in, it goes absolutely ballistic. Like, you can't beat the feeling of a late goal, can you, in a stadium? It's just so good. Considering only a week or so ago against Newcastle, we were on the other end of that, and we were on the other end of it against Fulham away. Being in the flesh and seeing it is just something else, and it's great. But is this the night, or was that the night that you now stop looking over your shoulder quite as much and start glancing more up the table? Have your expectations changed at all? West Ham obviously won as well. A good result for them against Spurs. But Spurs are kind of getting dragged into it a little bit as well, aren't they?
Yeah. I don't know.
Spurs have got a horrible run. If you look at their fixtures, they've got some really, really tough games. Yeah.
Such a funny club, isn't it? Like they get a new manager, they start fine, and then they just start tailing off, and everyone just it's like everyone just gives up on the manager and just go in this cycle. Who knows what's going to happen with them? They're on a horrendous run. I expected them to lose. I really did. I don't know if I was just me being pessimistic, but I just did. Like, I never trust Spurs to do anything. That result, West Ham winning, I think, is more significant than us winning, if you know what I mean. So, if we'd have both lost on Saturday, I'd have maybe felt like, I don't know, would I have felt more confident? I'm not sure. But the fact that West Ham won, that's a massive boost for them. I mean, when they lost at home to Forest, like, everyone kept saying, they need to win 3 in a row, as if there's 3 games left of the season. Like, they just need to pick up the game and consistently start getting better results, and they'll soon claw that gap back. There's loads of time for West Ham. Like, they're not down. I know the fans will talk like they are, but they're not. So we have to keep doing what we're doing. We've got some tough fixtures coming up. The gap will probably get smaller at some point, but I'm absolutely convinced we will stay up. Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking at the teams above us and dragging them back into it now, and trying to overtake them. And yeah, whatever happens with West Ham, yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah, it's one of the interesting things I found, which Paul actually shared, which was that last season Leicester finished on 25 points, and we're already at that mark. Ipswich 22, Southampton 12, which is crazy, isn't it? And Matthew in our other group was saying we've played 8 of the top 10 in the away form table at Elland Road, only Arsenal and Man City to come. And we've played 8 of the top 10 in the home form table away, only Villa and Scum still to visit.
Nice.
Every other fixture is either away to a team in the bottom half of the home form table or home to a team in the bottom half of the away form table. So that's quite interesting, isn't it?
That is very interesting. That's that is reassuring. The other thing about the West Ham thing is that obviously we go to them on the last day of the season, which does add pressure. You know, we sort of have to be at least 3 points ahead of them, really, by the end of the season. You know, by going into the last game of the season. I mean, yeah, revert, like you could use it the reverse way and say, well, even if they flip 11 points on us, we've still got a chance of getting out of it by beating them. But that does add a dynamic to it. You know, they just have to be within striking distance if it is down to us and them. But I want to get up there. I want to get 15th or 14th.
This is what I mean about the question of looking rather than looking over our shoulder, looking upwards. And I think we should be. I think we look. I think we said this last week, didn't we? That there's sort of rhetoric around, you know, the bigger clubs who've not got results against us being unlucky, like Man United and whoever, insert name. But actually, Leeds have been playing really well. It's not. I was trying to think, and I just don't want to do it. I was trying to think what we look like in as just Jesse Marsh side when we were just falling, and I'm trying to I want to compare how different we are playing to what we were playing then. I already know the answer. We were terrible, but it would be just interesting to sort of watch a game and feel it and see how different we are and are we actually good, and have we got I know we've got individual players, but there's just that element of doubt when you still sat in 17th, 16th or wherever thinking, we're not losing that many games here, but we're not really climbing up the table as well, are we? So it's a weird one.
It is.
It's hard to talk too positively when you're in that position. It's a weird one.
Yeah, I know. It's like scoreboard pressure in cricket almost, isn't it? When when you're down near the plug hole, even though you've got a nice cushion. But I feel like the league was different then. You know, like there was a lot of teams that could go down. Like, you know, it was only 2 or 3 years ago, wasn't it? But now I don't know. It feels like a much better quality league, but I feel like we're miles better than we were then. And I mean, Jesse Marsh's team, people hated it, but I think we only got really, really, really bad after he left, you know, and you think about those final weeks and some of the goals we conceded, you know, the 6 against Liverpool, 5 against Palace. The last day was the worst of all. And, you know, you look at that lineup on the last day, and I mean, that was an absolutely horrific team, like one of the worst teams, probably our worst ever Premier League team. And we're a million miles from that. Like, it's impossible for us to play that badly with these players because, you know, it's just, it's night and day.
And this manager
is so good. Yeah, and the manager for sure.
How much do you love Farke at the minute?
I love him. I had a go at my dad because he said that Farke is approaching getting nearer to Bielsa as his number 1 all-time Leeds manager.
That's good.
How dare you compare a man to God?
Yeah, but like, think about that though. I trust your dad's word more than yours. He's lived through the Reeve era, so
that's true.
For him to even name someone beyond Reeve is pretty impressive. So
yeah, but his memory's not what it was. That's the problem. He's forgot all about Bielsa already.
Don't say that.
Yeah, no, Farke's just absolutely amazing. He's delivering. Like, honestly, like I was quite emotional after the game yesterday to see how pumped up he was with that win. And then to hear him actually on the radio afterwards, he was high as a kite, wasn't he? But especially in the ground, because that time, like the Villa home game when we lost 2-1 and we played so well, and to hear the fans chanting, "You don't know what you're doing" at him, honestly, that cut me so deep. I was so pissed off. I can't tell you. I know I went into it a bit and I didn't hold back really on here, but I was so upset. I really was. So to see him turn it around and, to prove himself in the Premier League is, it's great. He deserves all the plaudits. He's done unbelievably from where we were when he took over to now, and he's handled it all incredibly well. He's a different class.
No, you were right all along, Rocco, as much as it pains me to say it. And everyone was losing their heads, weren't they? It's just the peril of dropping out of the Premier League and does funny things to people. And I think that's why you've got to look at Farke so fondly more than anything. He's just so level-headed, isn't he? He did his little celebration, his little sort of fist pump yesterday there's a little camera shot of him. There's like I've forgotten what it's called, bench cam, isn't it, on their YouTube channel?
Yeah.
But he's just so centered. It's weird. Really good to see him. You think of all the other managers that have come to Elland Road this year, and they spend so much time out their technical area balling at players. Farke, he doesn't even come out of his technical area, does he? He's just in there all the time. He doesn't pace that much. He just sort of got like his little sort of beard stroke. I don't know, just something very cool I love about him.
It's funny that it reminds me of Bielsa when so do you remember you will, obviously, the Blackburn game when Roof scored, won it for us, and like Bielsa ended up going out of his technical area and like he encroached into Blackburn's technical area during the celebrations, and then like immediately realised he was like, sorry, apologising
like
to the Blackburn bench. Bless him.
Yeah, bless him.
And Farke's got a better first touch as well. I'll give him that.
Than Bielsa, that's true. We never saw Bielsa's first touch, did we? But anyway.
No, I don't think so. He got clattered by Rafinha one time at Norwich. I remember that.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we need to get him back just to test out his first touch. Just a first touch off on the halfway line. It's not going to happen, is it?
Let's organise it.
Well, Everton, they beat Aston Villa away. We've got a tough away match at their new ground a week on Monday. So could be interesting. Tough game. Moyes is doing a cracking job there. I bet West Ham fans are not enjoying that as well.
It's a funny one. They've been on bad form themselves, and I was thinking, like, are they going to get dragged into it potentially? The home form especially has been bad, but yeah, that's an absolutely huge win for them.
Yeah.
But I think as well, like I said before, things falling in our way this season, I think that's a good result for us to go into that game because they'll be a bit more relaxed, which might work in their favour. But like, will they be a bit more complacent? There's no need to panic for them now. I don't think they're good enough to get into Europe or anything. They might want that. Let's go there and do the double over them. I think we can do it. If we play like we did against Newcastle, I'm sure we will do it. So I'm very excited, and also it'll be nice to go into that on a Monday night, knowing what the table will look like and what it can do for us. It always makes it a bit more exciting, doesn't it?
Yeah, it would be class if we could get something to Everton. I don't hold high hopes. Just feel like every away game is so tough, isn't it? And you really feel it where we just play way more rigid than we do at home. But there's always the chance. There's always the chance. There's a few aging players for Everton, isn't there? And will they get tired? Less recovery time for them. But we'll
just the 8 days.
Well, yeah. We'll see. We'll see. And I'm looking forward to it. Monday night. I don't Monday nighter for a while, and then we've is it Friday? Same week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's Arsenal, and then the following week. That's right. Yeah.
If we had I can't think of a Monday that we've played. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Was Everton? Yeah, I think Everton was Monday night, wasn't it? Classic. Well, there you go. It's half a season ago. So, that's probably about it for tonight. Have we missed anything off? We haven't missed anything, have we?
Don't know. No, probably not. I don't think so.
Someone will tell us. But yeah, I suppose that's it for this week. And thanks everyone for joining us.
It isn't.
Go on.
Well, not for this week. No, don't worry. We're just to mention that we're hoping to have Isaac on this week.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, very true. Yeah, Isaac Johnson from Leeds Live will be coming on, obviously in the transfer crunch environment at the moment. So we're going to be talking the latest in transfer news. No, we're not. We're just going to be talking about, Well, we probably will. But I don't want to hype it up because everyone comes
Go
thinking
on,
it's
hype
going to be
it
some... All right, Isaac's going to come.
I
He's
will be
going to
proud
give
of you. Go on, give it a big sell.
He's going to give you all the transfer news that you can't get anywhere else. Make sure you like and subscribe. No, yeah, just come back. It'll be fun. Isaac's great. And Rocco, you're all right as well. Oh, dear. Right, everyone, have a good week. We'll see you very soon on the Leeds Podcast. See you again. Cheers.